Um, Madam Deputy Clerk, could you please read the roll?
Mr. Bozen?
Here.
Mr. Nichols?
Here.
Ms. Creighton-Smith?
Here.
Mr. Childs?
Here.
Mr. Simon?
Here.
Ms. Wilder?
Here.
Mr. Foyce?
Mr.
Here.
Foyce, oops. Oh, I thought you weren't going to be here, sir. All right, well,
No, I'm here. I'm here.
all right. All right, could you please all join me in a moment of silence? All right, thank you. The pledge will be led by Rob Nichols, at-large council member.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the agenda as proposed, as well as the approval of minutes of the May 19th, 2025 regular council session as proposed.
Second.
That motion has been made with second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. First up on our council agenda is public comments. Your opportunity to address the council on agenda-related items. So, yes, sir.
Aaron Stacy Roberts, 411 Almond. And I had finished off last time I was talking about Judge Oderkirk, and the reason I'm gonna bring him back up is because I have a court date with him, I would imagine, July 1st, 2025. And the problem that I have with it is after describing how he has pretty much drained all of the assets that I had out of the house, as well as selling the farm without me getting notice to appeal, nor did I sign a family settlement agreement. I have a court date at which time he's told me that if I don't have an attorney by the 1st of July, he's going to close the case, which is a great thing for him because of the corruption that's involved. This is just two of the list of attorneys that I have called, and I have books of it like this. So it's not that I'm not looking for an attorney. In the very beginning, I was appointed an attorney by the judge, and I thought that was a good sign that they were trying to correct what they had wrong. And since then, it has only been worse and harder to get an attorney since they appointed me one. What is going on now is really a shame putting me up against the wall to where you're giving me that amount of time and then I have to just forget about the wrong that has happened. I'm not gonna let that happen. So I'm getting ready to go do some pro se work in the state and federal level and trying to get some assistance in this matter. So I have to take that on myself. That's where I'm at with that. Another problem that I'm having that I had discussed with you, and I was saying Treaster is Schuster was the police officer. You weren't here last time, but I had tried to send a message to you. Schuster, with me getting my goats from Ali up on Idaho Street, the judge allowed me to get all of my stuff. So I had to get it set up where I had the police or the sheriff come out so I could get it. I was put a week ago yesterday, or 5 days ago yesterday, I had an appointment with the police downstairs, the lady downstairs, and when I left there, they told me to notify Ali, give him 5 days, and then call them, which was Sunday morning, yesterday morning. I had Schuster who showed up, and that's the same guy that called me 4 months ago telling me to come and get my goat when I have 4 goats, and didn't include any of the hardware that I had up there, and that was him trying to do a civil matter in his uniform, and that's not what he's supposed to do. So he had me come up there yesterday morning. He didn't have me. I called, the police dispatched him up there, the lady downstairs, and when he got there, I was there, they told me to go park down the street from Ali's house, and Ali's a hostile guy as far as I'm concerned because I've been around him when he's drinking and he gets irate, so I stayed away from him, but they told me to go up there and park a block away, and I did that, and when I got there, I waited about 15 minutes, Schuster showed up, and then told me that there was nothing he could do to help me. So I don't even understand what they sent me up there for, to be in a hostile environment and knowing that he wasn't going to help me. At the end of the conversation, he told me I would have to have the sheriff's department come out and they would bring my goats out to the road to me and all of my fencing and take about 3 of them. He said it'd be 3 of them that would come up there and take the fencing down and bring it to me. I went to the sheriff's office this morning knowing better than that, because when they put people out their house, the sheriff and police ain't hauling stuff out the house. So that's not protocol. That's not what was going to happen. It's just him gaslighting me. That's what I want to get to, because him and Ali got some type of relationship where when Ali called the police, he didn't call dispatch, he called him directly one way or another. So with him telling me that, and when I went to the sheriff's this morning, they said absolutely not. They will never be handling stuff for people. So I want you to address that with Schuster. I told him that I'm getting gaslighted, and that's not good. So when we talk about people moving out of Waterloo, a lot of it is the corruption that is going on that we need to deal with. Have a good day.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone else that would like to address the council and mayor on non-agenda related items?
Hi, my name is Steve Woodard. I live at 2317 Pelican Road. I'm on here on behalf of my family and my neighbors. We all live near the Parkview Nursing Home, the old Parkview Nursing Home at 310 Upland Avenue. The building is old. The windows are broken out, but they're boarded up. Lately, we've been seeing more and more activity of people going into the building at early in the morning, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. We have kids in the neighborhood that we're kind of concerned with their safety. We're having people walk around the building and seeing signs of people living there and actually seeing people there. It sounds like there is some money set aside to demolish the building. So we're here just to kind of ask the council that they talk about it and maybe give it some priority to get it done.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
No, is that the one we had them go board up and they broke it down again? I think we spent thousands of dollars the first time. Oh, I'm sorry. Did
Well,
you?
that's okay. We're kind of a group here, and we all want to talk.
I was
for
going to
just a
have
few
him address
seconds.
it, but you want to wait. I'll have him address it when you get done.
My name is Susan Trower. I live at 2325 Pelican Road. We've seen activity. They park on our street. They go with shovels. They, at all hours of the night. We have a nice neighborhood. We're concerned because it's an eyesore for Waterloo, too. People coming from the south, you know, they see boarded up building, overgrown trees, split trees that are dead. And we've been promised that this was going to maybe be a priority a year and a half ago. So we're just really concerned about the safety. And if money has been allocated to remove the building, take down asbestos that would be caused because it's an older building, and secure our neighborhood, it would bring revenue to Waterloo, since we own the building now. I think we purchased it for $400,000, something like that. And this way, if it's plotted for better homes, that like our neighborhood is, then that would generate revenue for Waterloo. And that would be a definite plus that we need on our side of town.
Yep. All right, thank you.
I'm Alice Barr, and we live on 438 Parkhaven Drive, and we've lived there a very long time, probably over 50 years. In this time, we've seen the neighborhood, like I said, go down with with the nursing home gone. It's been gone there for a long time. It's been sitting empty, and it looks horrible. You come into Waterloo, and you see that, and you're going, what? It looks nice when you come in on 63 to the north. Coming in from 63 to the south, it looks horrible. It needs to be removed. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm Keith Smith. I live at 2130 Casper Avenue. We bought our house there in 1989. A couple years after that, we bought the vacant lot behind us, which is accessed through Fairway Lane. So when we sit in our sunroom, we actually look across the backyard to the old Parkview Gardens nursing home. And as the neighbors have said, we've witnessed the place being broken into. We've called the officers. They've caught people there. That's before the city owned it. Last summer, there were 2 juveniles that were caught breaking into it. I think they were released to their parents. but we've seen kids climb up. There's a radio tower on the one corner of the building. The kids crawl up that. They play on the roof. I walked around the building today, checked all the doors. There are 3 doors that are unsecured that you can open and look into the building. Even though if you secure those doors, you can still access it through the roof. There's lots of skylights they've been getting in through. So just wondering if something can be done.
No, keep going, sir. Keep going, sir. Keep going. Let us-
While
that
they
was
have
only a
been
minute.
mowing the lawns around it, they can only mow so much because there's a lot of trees. There's a tree on the north side of the building that's probably down, so they have to mow around that. There's brush underneath the trees. They're doing the best they can to make the mowing look halfway decent, but it's starting to look pretty rough. Over the years, I have contacted Maria at Code Enforcement when we do see the buildings unsecured, and she usually has somebody out there immediately within a day or so, but it's just a matter of days and it's not secure anymore. So I understand it's a pretty hard building to secure, as old as it is with all the skylights, they're getting into it. But when you walk around the building, it's nothing but broken glass, broken toilets that have been thrown out through the windows before they boarded it up. So it's getting to be a real eyesore.
And now with the construction around there, you're driving even slower to take a look at that old place too. And we just had a meeting yesterday. So if you don't mind, I want to have Noel come up and give us an update on where we're at, if that's fine with you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. Mayor, as you noted, we boarded it up quite a few times as they kept breaking into it. So we'll definitely go over there and take a look at it again for trying to stop entry into there. It is currently under asbestos survey. Bids are out, so we're hoping to get the demolition going as fast as we can. We had been looking at using a grant for the asbestos removal and demolition. Because of some of the complexities of the grant, we think that'll be a slower option. So we're going to go with different local funding options that we have through TIF bonds or ARPA. To demolish it, hoping to have it down, hopefully, October, November.
Right. Is there any way that we can move that faster, or we have to wait to remove the asbestos?
We have to do the asbestos survey to identify what's asbestos in there. Then we can go out for asbestos abatement to remove it, and we'll try to go out and simultaneously go out for demolition at the same time for bidding. So that's bid out, and then they'll just start when the asbestos abatement is complete.
Because the challenge is I know one time we actually hired a contractor to go out and spent thousands of dollars boarding that thing up. So right now, can I ask you a quick question? You said you walked around it today. Are all of the wood panels and stuff removed from there now, or is it just a few of them?
All the windows are still boarded up. The doors are boarded up, but it appears that when they get inside, they kick the doors out.
Okay.
So all the windows are still covered. I think there was a problem with when they originally boarded it up. I know the one window that faced our house, I think somebody was living in there.
Right.
Code enforcement would board it up within a day or so, it'd be unboarded. And I think the company come back and must have put heavier duty screws. They haven't been kicking that out now.
Okay.
So it's but the doors are kicked out or are unsecure now.
So what I'll do tomorrow, I'll have the proper authorities go by there, take a look and see if anyone in there, and I'll see if we could have a department or something put back up some doors, or we'll reach out to that contractor and have them go back in and board that place up again while we get the asbestos and stuff removed from there as well. You know, we had a similar situation over at St. Mary's too, where we had put up boards and those were torn down. Then we put up a fence around it that was torn down. But I'll send somebody out tomorrow to take a look, see who's in there, and then we'll see what we can do to get that boarded up as quickly as possible. And what Noel had mentioned also, we were waiting to take a look at some possible grant dollars to be able to use it, but we're at the point where we need to move as fast as we can to get that building down. So we'll get on that, and
Okay.
We'll have somebody go around tomorrow. So thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. Right. Is there anyone else who'd like to address the council on non-agenda related items?
Darren Speed, 1100 Amesboro Avenue. I am here to not bicker, but to praise everybody that's here. I am in the Alabar Hills area where we had a devastating home explosion, and thankfully I'm just here for everybody's crew that's around there to say thank you. It is cleaned up. They've been working hard on it all week long. If you look over there, you can't see anything. They got the grounds cleaned up pretty well. There is a caution fence still around there. Mm-hmm. There is still a basement that is there. I'm not too sure what that's going to be, what that's going to entail to get rid of that. But here just to say thank you to everybody. We appreciate, you jumping on that quickly. And we just had a meeting Sunday evening, got everybody together locally around there, walked around the premises, prayed for it, and we're on the healing. So thanks everybody that had a hand in that. Thank you.
And sorry, you guys have had a very traumatic experience over the last 2 months or so.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I couldn't imagine being a next door neighbor or around. But one thing I do know is that you want the mayor and you want the council and staff to be on it. And so I'm very thankful that the council allowed us to move that to an emergency bidding and that staff was able to get that done. So my prayers go back to you and yours as well.
We certainly need them. We're in a process of healing now. There's a couple younger families that have been really devastated through this, but if we all, where there's two or more, we can heal.
And one thing, one challenge we've had with this too is normally there's an executor of the estate. Mm-hmm. In this situation, there wasn't a person or a family, and so city attorney had tried to reach out to the banks and that type of stuff. So we'll continue to work on the foundation and those things, but also we really don't know what direction it's going to do as far as ownership of the property. So we're going to do our best to try to continue to work. And so thank you so much for being here.
If there's anything that we can do, our little community to help, let us know.
Well, 2 or 3. We accept prayers too. So.
Yeah, absolutely. we appreciate that.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to address the council on non-agenda related items? Going a second time. Council.
Mr. Mayor.
Sir.
Thank you, everyone, for coming today and saying what you have to say. It is much appreciated to hear from the actual constituency on what they want to happen. I am disappointed to hear the date get pushed back again for the demolition of this building. It's something that I've been really pushing for this past year and a half. So I'm happy to have Mayor on board to help us get this thing down as fast as possible. This is going to be extremely helpful to get it down and get it out of that neighborhood, because as you said, that place will be a boon to Waterloo. When we have beautiful housing in that area, accompanying what's already over there, it's just going to add to the value of that area and add to the property values of that area and continue to improve our city more and more. Alabar Hills, you have an official neighborhood association. I don't know if you know that, which means there are some things that we can do over there to continue to boost up spirits, including getting something together again for the National Night Out this summer. So I would love to be a part of that to help you get that going. It would be nice to have that neighborhood association back active and get everyone knowing each other again and knowing what's going on in your neighborhood, so that way we can hopefully help avoid any additional tragedies in the future and just have that neighborhood. It sounds like you have come together as a neighborhood already. Let's take advantage of this coming together moment to push it farther into the future. And back to my other neighborhood, we should get a neighborhood association started up here. We already have a president and secretaries and all these things right here. So let's just go ahead and get it done. Let's get it done this summer. And then you can have a neighborhood association party this summer celebrating that thing going down finally. With that, it was great having so many people at the neighborhood association. We had 12, 13 people show up, not just your neighborhood either. We had other people show up, so it's gaining some traction. People are starting to come to ask questions, to learn more about what's going on in the city for Ward 1 and Ward 2. Thanks, Mr. Boson, again, for joining for that ward. It's great having this joint ward meeting together. Please come. It is the final Saturday of the month at noon at the Ridgeway Coffee, on Ridgeway Sidecar Coffee. If we keep growing, we'll have to move. might not be a big enough space to have this meeting, but it's still nice to have it in a local location where we can support a local business, buy some coffee, and talk about what's going on in the city. I think that's everything I have. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I just kind of want to echo a little bit of that. It does feel good having joint council meetings because myself and Councilor Creighton Smith had our first council meeting and our ward meeting. And it was a great turnout. We also talked to Mr. Sutherland, and he gave us a holiday ETA on the opening of the new grocery store. He said that his goal is to have it done before Thanksgiving. Now, we can want it to be sooner than that. However, I'm just thankful that he's willing to do that before a holiday. And he did give us good news on distributors.
Yes.
He said he is looking to find someone that is more affordable for our community. I know there was an issue with them not having EBT accepted in the beginning. He said that won't be an issue. Not too sure on a pharmacy just yet, but he is working his way. So we are very happy to hear that. And then our next meeting is on
The
which day?
26th, yep. Thursday, June 26th at 6 o'clock.
At Jubilee Freedom Center.
Yes.
So if you have any questions before then, just contact Ms. Creighton Smith or myself. And thank you.
And I did have a small meeting today with Mr. Sutherland and his business team. They were supposed to be at the city council meeting, but wasn't able to make it, just to get an update on where they're at with the store as well. Things are moving forward, and hoping sometime within the next month or so will be the closing date for the purchase of the store, so they can begin the process of renovation. So they let me know that today with this entire team. So, all right, council. This week is my Waterloo days. We want a fun, safe weekend where we can celebrate the best of Waterloo. For those that know, the 6th is a what?
It's his birthday.
Oh,
Like,
So
this week is your
I'll be
birthday.
22 again for the 32nd time. So, but no, and then I think there's some volunteer opportunities. I can't remember the website.
MyWaterlooDays.com
My Waterloo Days.
or ExperienceWaterloo.com.
Experience Waterloo.
And the parade is on Friday, the 5th at 6 p.m.
yes.
And there's the parade route there on the screen.
Wait, what day is Friday? Friday is
June 6th.
June 6th. Oh, wow.
30 lineup.
Yep.
Okay.
So make sure y'all are there. And of course, the concerts are going to be Friday and Saturday. Be there on your best behavior.
Yep. All right. Somebody want to move us
I make a
forward?
motion to close public comments.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Public comments closed.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the additional 1A1 bills payment for May 27, 2025 in the amount of $20,869,579.96, and for June 2nd in the amount of $2,667,824.25.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Madam Deputy Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Do we have to make note about the removal, or is that good?
About the what?
Consent
removal
agenda
of the-
removal?
The tobacco.
Vape.
25T.
Duly noted, we'll take that item. We removed the 25T.
Yes.
All right, did everyone vote? All right, just real quickly, Ogogo Oriaki has been appointed to the Complete Streets Committee, and we have a ton of renewals, so thank people for ringing up on that. Could someone please take our first public hearing?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing, and that's for the Waterloo Convention Center Furniture Project.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The hearing is now open. Is there anyone that would like to speak to furniture for the convention center? Going a second time.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
that motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Sorry. I waited that time.
Yeah, he did. All right, Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution confirming approval of specifications, bid documents, form of contract, et cetera, and authorizing to proceed.
Second.
that motion has been made with the second. Council questions? Madam Deputy Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
make a motion to receive and file and instruct the deputy city clerk to read bids.
Second.
that motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Madam Deputy Clerk.
We had two bidders for this project. Kurt Gross's bid was $13,730, and Office Concepts Designs was $158,538.86, for a total of $172,268.86.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
I'd like to adopt a resolution approving award of bid to Office Concepts of Cedar Falls, Iowa, in the amount of $158,538.86, and Kirk Gross of Waterloo, Iowa, in the amount of $13,730, for a total amount of $172,268.86, approving the contract bonds and certificate of insurance in conjunction with the Waterloo Convention Center Furniture Project, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents.
Second.
that motion has been made with the second. I just want to say, I don't know how the council is going to vote, but thank you if you vote for it, because I remember when we had the League of Cities here, we didn't even have like tables and stuff on the outside of the convention center and in a couple different areas. So finance and convention center and all involved, much appreciated. Madam Clerk, Deputy Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs? Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Someone take number two,
Mr. Mayor,
sir.
I'd like to make a motion to receive, file, approve publication, notice of public hearing, and resolution authorizing the sale and conveyance of city-owned property located south of 115 Warp Drive in the amount of $1 to Three Stooges LLC, with a development agreement including 10 years of 50% tax rebates and a minimum assessment agreement of $3,200,000.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Is there anyone that'd like to speak to Three Stooges? Going a second time,
Mr. Mayor,
sir.
motion to close the hearing.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The hearing is now closed.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
I'd like to adopt a resolution authorizing sale and conveyance of city-owned property located south of 115 Warp Drive in the amount of $1 to Three Stooges LLC, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
that motion has been made with the second. Council,
Mr. Mayor,
sir.
just a quick question for Noel on how we determine the rebates.
Mr. Anderson.
Because they're not based on, they're not based on job creation, they're based on another matrix, is that correct?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director, that is correct. Generally, if a project is under $1 million in new taxable value, they get either free land or tax rebates. So if it's land that they own, they'll get 5 years to 50%. If it's land that we own, they'd get it for $1. If the project is worth over $1 million, then they're eligible for free land and 5 years of 50% tax rebates. And then when we get up in the $3 million range, we go up to 10 years at 50% rebates as the taxable values are getting higher. And obviously for the $20 million projects and all that, we could get up to 15 years and things like that.
And that's the reason I'm asking, because in the consent agenda, we're setting the date of a public hearing for it's a $3 million assessed value in 15 years at 50%, which in this matrix, it would fall under the 10 years.
And the other one that we're setting the data hearing for is actually part of the original development agreement that had an amendment in there for future expansions. It would be very similar to the first one. And their first development agreement was set up for taxable value and jobs being created, because they are bringing jobs here for the CPM project. So that one was based on the original one, that the amendment would be similar in rebates and incentives to the first one.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Sir?
Adopt a resolution approving the development agreement with Three Stooges LLC with a minimum assessment agreement of $3,200,000 for the construction of a 50,400 square foot industrial building and authorizing mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder, or Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Number 3, Ms. Wilder.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing, and that is for the sale and conveyance of city-owned property located at 1131 Birch Avenue.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Is there anyone that would like to comment on this conveyance of city-owned property?
Where's Mr. Dryer?
Going a second time.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Sorry, I had asked a question and threw myself off. I was looking for Mr. Dryer. I haven't heard him today. I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing and receive and file oral and written comments.
There were none.
Yeah.
All right, the motion's been made with the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The hearing is now closed.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a motion or a resolution authorizing the sale and conveyance of city-owned property located at 1131 Birch Avenue to E&C Investments LLC, and that is Cesar E. Barrios and Garcia in the amount of $5,000, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents.
Second.
The motion has been made with the second. Council? Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to adopt a resolution approving the development agreement with E&C Investments LLC, that is Cesar E. Barrios Garcia, for the construction of a single-family home located at 1131 Birch Avenue with a total of $5,000 info housing grant and a purchase price refund of $5,000, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Could someone take, of course, the first 3,
Mr. Mayor?
sir?
I'd like to adopt a resolution approving a 3% salary increase for non-bargaining employees effective July 1st, 2025. Number 2 is adopting a resolution approving a renewal agreement with Delta Dental for fees associated with administration in the amount of $38,614, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents. And number 3 is adopting a resolution approving a renewal agreement with Wellmark Blue Cross Blue Shield for fees associated with administration, network access, and stop loss, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
That was speed reading, sir.
Seriously.
That's my goal.
Ray reads the fastest, honestly.
All right. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this item on the agenda? Council?
Mr. Mayor?
Sir?
Just want to thank our non-bargaining employees, and I think it's great that we support them with the same contract since they don't have the ability to bargain, because we really value the work that they do.
Duly said, duly noted. And thank you, HR, for your work again this year. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Could we take 4, 5, and 6, someone?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I move to adopt the following resolution. The resolution amending resolution number 2025-178 adopted March 17th, 2025, addressing on-street and parking ramp rates. Resolution approving the Waterloo Cedar Falls Consortium Agreement for program years 2025 to 2028, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute that document. And a resolution approving the Corridor Fire Marshal's Mobile Food Vendor Fire Inspection Agreement, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute that document.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Is there anyone that wants to comment on these 3 items? Council?
Mr. Mayor?
Sir?
I would really like the chief to talk about number 6, because this is kind of a new program. And I really think it's going to be beneficial for everyone involved.
Chief.
It's not gonna work. Bill Back, Fire Chief. It's basically a program that we have with other corridor cities where we all have the same requirements for food trucks, so that if they get one here, they're able to go to Cedar Rapids and have a food truck service there as well. I have some specific questions if you have.
Oh, I don't have questions. I just wanted to for the explanation, so people understand that we're working together with other fire marshals, other entities, other departments, to kind of streamline this, so that if you have a food truck down in Iowa City and you want to come up to our food truck festival, and that when you come up here, you just have to have your sticker.
Right.
You don't have to contact us and get an inspection and have the health department, all these people come in and do it. So I think it just shows that we can work with other communities and create a nice finished product.
It creates a better product for us with those food truck festivals with less work on our part as well.
Yep. Thank you.
And for the record, I don't have a food truck.
Well, are you planning on getting
sorry.
one?
I had to throw that in.
I love to eat.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for that, having them explain that. Madam Deputy Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton-Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Could someone take 7, 8, and 9, please?
Mr. Mayor?
Sir?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the following resolutions. First is a resolution approving a variance to the requirements of subdivision ordinance in section 11-3-2 preliminary plats and section 11-3-3 final plats relating to the approval of the minor plat of Mason Minor Plat 1, a 3-lot residential subdivision in the R-2 1 and 2 family residence district located at 3575 Cedar Terrace Drive. Next is a resolution approving the request by Wayne Clausen Engineering for the minor plat of Mason Minor Plat 1, a 3-lot residential subdivision in the R-2 1 and 2 family residence district located at 3575 Cedar Terrace. And number 9, a resolution approving an amendment to the Comprehensive Safety Action Plan CSAP, approved by the City Council on April 21st, 2025 by adding an additional project, 5th Street and 6th Street one-way to two-way conversion, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Is there anyone with questions on these 3 items? Council?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
I've never been a fan of the one-way conversions on 5th and 6th. We had the studies. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the time coming through town. It doesn't change the safety of those corridors at all. The purpose of those original corridors was to get people through that corridor, to get them out to the northeast side, to get them out to Tyson's and the tannery, and also to get people back to where they live south of downtown. So I won't be voting on yes on number 9.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I want to also add that it will cause additional confusion as well, changing back and forth. I just find it difficult to agree on that, especially when we got 5th, 6th Street already, which is kind of interesting.
Right. So the study, all of this was brought to us by downtown, by some of the business owners, because right now, some parts of just the downtown, from starting at Franklin to Washington Street, not being able to equally assess businesses on both sides of the street. And so it was a way to be able to slow down traffic, but also make sure that businesses on either side are viable with access to them. And so this was actually one that was brought to us by the community. But
Mr. Mayor?
we'll go Mr. Childs and then to Mrs. Wilder.
I remember seeing the traffic study, and I remember it was clear in saying that it would not help those particular issues. But what I remember when we talked about this a long time ago is there is a very good video on something called Stroads on YouTube, which is the idea that a road is trying to act as a street and a road at the same time. And that's what we have downtown. If we had a significant amount of people downtown, it would be unsafe because we have these fast traveling vehicles on these roads where you have ideally significant pedestrian interaction. So while I do understand it doesn't really help the cars and the people in the cars, because it will slow them down. That's correct, it will. And it will create a little bit more traffic downtown. But it will allow us to let the businesses that are present be successful and allow us to use alternate methods of transportation downtown more successfully.
All right, Ms. Wilder.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I have been meeting with the Structural and Safety Committee for Church Row, and the neighbors have been asking about this project. I've emailed Jamie a couple times about this project. The neighbors have been asking for it, and they want it. And so for that reason, I would vote yes on it, because the neighbors have been asking for this to come about, like they want it on those streets.
Yeah, this is one where we kind of been on back and forth over the years. Jamie, you want to chime in, or is Muhammad or somebody want to chime in? This was at the direction.
Jamie Knudsen, city engineer. So to take a step back, if council remembers, we have applied twice for federal funding to pay for 5th and 6th to convert everything from Franklin all the way out to Six Corners. We've applied twice, we didn't get funding twice. So looking at, and the federal government has done away with that particular grant program, so we can't apply under that grant anymore. So looking at our grant options, the next best thing is for us to go after Safe Streets for All funding. In order to do that, you have to have a complete streets action plan, which is what's before you. Council approved this previously. And the way it was written previously was that they had assumed that the 5th and 6th Street corridor would have been converted at that time. It has not been, obviously. So what we need council to do tonight is to hopefully approve the amendment, and this will allow us to apply for funding for this $30 million project. You all have driven the roads downtown 5th and 6th at some point, and along with that, there is Dry Run Arch, which runs under part of 6th Street from Washington up to the bridge that needs to be reconstructed. So this $30 million project, we're looking for federal funds to help pay for this. So again, it's one of those, there are benefits not only to the traveling public, as Mr. Childs has said, especially the pedestrians, but this will also help us cover the costs of this project. Otherwise, the city will be looking at this cost entirely on our own, so.
And our next large road projects, once we get done with 63 South, is definitely starting to take a look at brand new roads, 5th, 6th, and Street, because right now it's not the best looking. You know, Jessica mentioned all the investment that's being made into downtown with businesses, and right now we need a better streets, fresh streetscapes as well. That is going to make the entire downtown look good. So that is one of the next big investments. The challenge that comes with this one was about $10 million.
It's about $10 million just for Dry Run Arch itself. And we've been scouring the federal grants, looking at, talking with our congressional delegations, both the Senate and the House side, for the last several years. And nobody can seem to find a pot of money that we can apply for a grant specifically for Dry Run Arch. So part of it is we're going to have to have a match. And so our match is basically paying to reconstruct Dry Run Arch. Keep in mind, some of Dry Run Arch was built 1905. So some of it needs to be redone. So we're gonna, at some point, we're either going to have to pay for all of this ourselves, or we can get some benefits out of it and apply for a grant and be able to help take care of a fair amount of the costs.
But it's a project that needs to be started on.
It does. It
Within the next 5 years.
Yep.
If we need to be way down the road on this project for a number of different reasons. Before we go to you, Mr. Childs, let's see if those that haven't asked a question. Yes, sir.
I don't believe that the positives outweigh the negatives on this. I think that we need to probably push this down the road a little bit. We're just the potential of the high cost that this could provide, or this is going to be. You keep referencing grants and federal grants and stuff like that, but none of these are for sure.
No, none of these are for sure in this particular grant. We could apply and not get anything. But you don't know unless you apply.
Can we approve this and then deny it if we do not get the grants, or how would that work if we would approve this today?
Yes, I mean, ultimately, the funding agreement will have to come back to council at some point. Assuming we do get the grant, then this would come back to council for the funding agreement.
And the grant would not cover the total cost anyway, correct? There would still be additional costs.
Yes, there's always, it's 80%? I think it's an 80-20 cost, so out of the 30 million, 80% of that would be paid for by the federal dollars.
So
Versus 100% city costs. The other thing is we can't be kicking Dry Run Arch too far down the road because we know that there are structural issues with it. It's not to the point that it's immediate collapse by any means. I want to make that clear, but we do need to be planning to get that replaced sooner rather than later. And we are going to have to tear up the entire street in order to do that. So trying to do all of these projects at one seems to get us some scale of cost of scale. So the larger the project, yes, there's bigger dollars, but the unit prices actually get cheaper.
So with all the construction we already have going on in town, is this down the road? How many years in your
Realistically,
Yes.
we'd be applying for the grant this summer. It's the end of June, I believe, is when it has to be turned in by. It's going to take 6 to 8 months before we ever hear anything, whether or not we even get a chance to do that. The LaPorte Road grant itself took us a year of negotiations with the federal government before it ever came back to council to sign it after we were approved for the grant. So, this could be 18 months before we're even, assuming we get it, it could be 18 months before we're even talking to council again about having a funding agreement. And then at that point, we've still got several months beyond that point in order to go out for an RFP to hire a consultant. So realistically, you're talking 2 to 3 years before you're even going to see any sort of construction.
So it's already down the line.
So it's already down the road. So at some point, I'm not sure how much further we can keep moving this down the road.
Thank you.
let me give this point. Let me give this example. This is not a want. This is an absolute need. If you take a look at the infrastructure on these roads on 5th and 6th Street, and even the streetscape that we need to do on 4th Street, these roads are in terrible condition right now. We need to get those fixed. And part of our challenge has been historically, we take a look at that price tag and we're like, no, we let's do that. And that's how we ended up with 2 bridges that were the worst in the state. So doing these projects, whether they're 2-way or they're 1-way, this isn't a want. This is an absolutely need. Working on that arch is an actual need that we have to have done for the infrastructure for our downtown. And so I just want to so it can't be said that we didn't understand the severity. These are key projects that have to get done. And if we have to, we're going to apply for federal grants, but it's not like if we don't get the grants, we can't move forward and do anything. We have to do this.
But does that mean we have to change them to 2-way streets? Can't we do the road
Yes, and in this
constructions and keep
particular
them
case,
on?
yes, we have to. That's what is in our Complete Streets Action Plan. That is what, in order to apply for this grant, you have to have a
You gotta
complete
change
streets.
directions.
You have to have what's in it. You have to have a Complete Streets Action Plan. And what is in our action plan is to convert it from 1-ways to 2-ways. So yes, in order to get the money, in order to apply for this grant, we have to convert it.
I don't understand why that's a requirement.
That's the way the plan was written and was approved previously. And now we're just adding this 5th and 6th
And that
conversion
plan
as
has
the
to
number
go-
one.
That plan has to go to the grants, to apply to the grants, it has to be,
Yes, you have to have this grant, you have to have this plan approved by council and submitted to the federal government and even ordered to even apply for the road dollars.
So Steve, can I add a point?
I just want to know if these roads need repaired, why do they have to be switched? The traffic going from north to south is troublesome anyway. Going through the interstate that has stoplights, the only interstate in the history of the United States that has stoplights on it, it goes through Waterloo from one side to the other. I don't think we need to stop people from going from south to north either.
Again, this is the direction that we have been asking. This has been going on this is the 3rd year of council directing me to go ahead and move and apply for these grants to convert from one ways to two ways. So
I think there needs to be an understanding. Could you explain what the Complete Streets, we have a Complete Streets Advisory Committee. That's a selection of people that take a look at, and I don't know where the conversation came that by going from a one-way to two-way, that's not as safe. So I don't know where that conversation has come from, but the Complete Streets Advisory Committee makes recommendations to the city council on what they believe makes for safer streets, more accessible streets, more bikeable, walkable. You know, the University Avenue project had input from Complete Streets, LaPorte Road. And so the belief is that if it's a Complete Streets, it works with being multimodal, it works with safety, it works with a number of different areas. And until tonight, I've never heard that it didn't. Now, where I believe that some of the angst and challenge may be is that outside of downtown, you have the Church Road area, right? And where you have the Six Corners in that area and coming back, that's going to really slow up traffic from free flow. But, you know, so it's to be a Complete Streets. And in order to get this grant, it has to have some complete street implementation in it.
Correct.
For us to be eligible.
The area, and I will say it this way, Intercog was the one that worked with city staff and a number of other folks and hired the consultant in order to create this Complete Streets program that you have in front of you. As part of that, they focus strictly on the downtown, basically from Franklin to Randolph, I believe is where it is, through the downtown. And again, in order for us, whatever we apply for the grant, the federal government will only look at the area between Franklin and Randolph. So we are only going from Franklin to South Street with the two-way conversion. From South Street all the way out to Six Corners will still continue to be one way. 4th and 5th will continue to stay one way. We will not be doing the peanut or the roundabout at Six Corners like we had looked at the last two times. Those are not included in this plan, and therefore we can't apply for, or we could apply for it for grant money, but they won't fund it.
So it doesn't change near the school.
It doesn't change near the school. It doesn't change. It doesn't change by the middle school. It will change over by East High. It will change that because we have to make some conversion there. But yes, from East High down to South Street will be changed from two-way or one-way to two-way.
Sir, well, I need to go to Mr. Childs and I come to you.
I'm fine. He answered my question just now.
Okay. Mr. Bozen.
I appreciate it. So this is an amendment to the plan.
Correct.
So this isn't in the original plan?
It's in there, but it's they made a comment or have a statement in there that it was assumed that these programs or that this conversion would already be completed, and everything else they were looking at in the plan was ancillary to the conversion of 5th and 6th.
So outside of the $10 million for the storm sewer, the downtown area, 5th and 6th Street is $20 million.
Correct.
From South Street to East
Yes.
High.
But keep in mind, all of that includes design, inspection, and construction. So it's not just all construction dollars.
Because I can't wrap my head around that converting from one-way to two-way on 5th and 6th is this big benefit to the business people. And let's just take 6th Street, for example. Name me one business that addresses off of 6th Street that's not a federal, a government building. We don't have anything on 6th Street. I mean, what do we have on 6th?
I would posit the question that perhaps that if you had it converted, maybe it would be a catalyst for change and you'd get more. I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Existing buildings that number off of other streets. Because you take like the Amvents and that, you take some of these other businesses, they all address off of the side streets, not 6th Street.
Mm-hmm.
So we really don't have it on that 6th Street corridor. Changing it from one-way to two-way and slowing that traffic up, I don't see where it benefits any businesses along that way because there aren't any. There are more on 5th Street. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when you start talking about, but there's not a lot. When you start going down 5th Street, there's not a whole lot of anything on the west side of 5th Street, when you cross that bridge on the west side of West 5th Street, what do you got? You got a parking ramp.
You got a parking ramp. You got Wells Fargo. You got Russell. Where's
but,
Russell
but,
Lamps?
but
Right
they're
over here?
they're all on the east side. I'm talking about on the west side of that
So
of
like
that
Dollar
street.
General, Habitat for
No,
Humanity,
when you're yeah, but that's past South Street.
Oh.
So when you're driving down West 5th Street, you look off to the right. There's no storefronts that have any businesses. Everything's on the left or the east side of the street. You know, your bank, your Russell Lamson, you've got some coffee shops and bars, but nothing on the other side. So I don't see where the advantages of changing it. You get, it's the same thing as you coming from the east side, because everything is on one side of the street, not the other, because all the stuff on one side of the street is governmental buildings.
So, but if you're coming the opposite way, it creates another avenue for you to get to that
Well,
business.
you guys, we can argue over semantics. I'm not in favor of one-way
north,
streets to two-way,
now they're
but
on the
that's
right
just
side.
me. I'm done, sir. Thank you for your time.
For your time, sir. Thank you.
Well,
It's good to be at a point where we may not agree.
Well, they need 4
and not
votes.
stomping down and hit. Well, not even that.
We can do it in a
But I'm just
peaceful
saying the way that we conduct it. So I appreciate
And disagree
everyone.
professionally and
So that's
vote.
what I mean.
Well, thank you.
So, Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Mr. Bozen,
Yes on 7, 8, no on 9.
Mr. Nichols,
Yes on all of them.
Ms.
Yeah.
Creighton Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Childs,
Yes.
Mr. Simon,
Yes on 7 and 8, no on 9.
Ms. Wilder,
Yes.
and Mr. Foyce.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Council. 10, 11, and 12.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir,
I'd like to adopt a resolution approving a farm lease agreement expiring December 31st, 2025 with Charles Waskow to farm approximately 28.5 acres of land for $6,412.50 located between Newell Street and MLK Drive, and authorize mayor and city clerk to execute said documents. Number 11 is adopting a resolution approving an early access agreement with Cedar River Contracting, Inc., doing business as K&W Electric to allow certain development activities on and located east of 180 Warp Drive, and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute said documents. And number 12 is adopting a resolution approving construction plans for paving, storm sewer, and sanitary sewer serving the Baltimore Field Second Edition as submitted by McClure Engineering, sewage treatment agreement DNR Form 29, November 00, with the Department of Natural Resources, and final acceptance of construction plans subject to review and acceptance by the Department of Natural Resources, and authorize the mayor to execute said document.
Second.
all right, thank you, Mr. Bozen. That's been made with the motion in the second. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to this item? Council? Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Could someone take 13, 14, and 15, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we adopt resolution number 13, approving supplemental agreement number 1 with McClure Engineering in the amount of $268,840 in conjunction with the fiscal year 2026 Dakota Drive Extension, contract number 1129, and authorizing mayor and city clerk to execute said document. 14, approving addendum number 3 to a professional services agreement with Robinson Engineering Company of Independence, Iowa, originally executed April 5th, 2021, in the amount not to exceed $10,000 in conjunction with fiscal year 2022 North Crossing Area Study Contract Number 1050, and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute said document. And 15, resolution amending resolution number 2024-493, executed August 19, 2024, approving a professional services agreement with ISG Inc. of Waterloo, Iowa, to amend the amount to 7.5% of the total cost of furniture purchase for the Waterloo Convention Center in conjunction with the furniture plan bid for the Waterloo Convention Center.
Second.
All right, that motion has been made with the second. Any questions on these three items? Council? Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Could someone take the last four? A couple of these are very similar.
Mr. Mayor?
Sir?
I'd like to approve the following resolutions. First is a resolution supporting an application by BCS Properties LLC for the Iowa Workforce Housing Tax Credit Program to construct 4 10-plex buildings totaling 40 new housing units located north of 180 Provision Parkway, and authorizing the mayor to execute said document. Number 17, a resolution approving an application by Martin Flats LLC for the Iowa Workforce Housing Tax Credit program to construct 2 upper-story apartments located at 319 East 4th Street, and authorizing the mayor to execute the community input form. Next is a resolution supporting the application by Big Hand Pepper LLC for the Iowa Workforce Housing Tax Credit Program to construct 14 new single-family dwellings on the former Castle Hill School site located at 1720 Maynard Avenue, and authorizing the mayor to execute the community input forum. And number 19, a resolution supporting an application by Big Hand Pepper LLC for the Iowa Workforce Housing Tax Credit Program to construct 15 new single-family dwellings at the Waterloo Community School Conference Center located at 1554 Oakwood Drive, and authorizing the mayor to execute the community input form.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Is there anyone that would like to comment on 16 through 19? Yes, sir.
Forrest Dillevue, 1725 Huntington Road. A question I continually get asked are, who are the LLCs? Who are the people that own them? I think using taxpayer dollars, the taxpayers should have a right to know who they are, whether they're in town, out of town, you know, good contractors or bad. I think it's only right that we know who they are. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dilleville. Council?
I have a number of questions.
Sir?
For Noel, on number 16, usually with the workforce tax credits, the city's got to buy in, is that correct?
Noel Anderson, Community Planning Development Director. So the city of Waterloo, as part of the workforce housing tax credits, we would have to have some incentives in there, yes.
So what are our incentives here, since this isn't like infill housing, this is new development?
So for Martin Flats.
No, I'm not on Martin Flats yet, I'm on 16.
Okay, just on the first one?
Yeah, I'm on
for
the Cooley
BCS properties, we'll have to sit down and figure that out. It's an existing site.
It's not infill development, it's a brand new, I don't see where that's infill development at all. It's all in his site that he redeveloped that with Ridgeway Dental, with the Casey's, with all of, I don't see where that's infill development and whatsoever.
So it's an existing site under a development agreement. That entire site was approved through a TIP district development agreement for the entire site. So this would be covered by that for tax rebates back to the developer. So they could choose to use that as the match for their workforce housing tax credit application.
On 17, when is that development agreement need to be brought back before council? I emailed you that question earlier. Because this has been going on for quite some time now. The Martin Flats that's on East 4th Street, right?
Correct. I'll have to check the dates. They definitely met the date to start the construction. Usually they have 14 months to be done under the
Okay.
standard one, so I'll check to see what that date
Well,
is. But
I
they
just want
should
to
be
make sure
within
it
that
doesn't
timeframe.
expire, so that if we have to amend this, because I do believe they did get a nice grant from Main Street or somebody, didn't they?
That's worked on right now. That was.
Well, I
one of the-
understand, I just don't want this to.
I think she said August, they hope to be finished, but I didn't know that was even coming close to.
Because workforce tax credits take a while to get.
That one, is that project a year old?
I'll have to check.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a fairly brand new one.
And then on 18 and 19, does Big Hand Pepper own these properties right now, or is that common that we apply for workforce tax credits prior to the developer even having the property?
Mr. Fitro is here, so he can probably answer where they're at in that process with the schools. I know they've met with the schools. I've met with the schools with them as well to discuss all of us working together to get these sites redeveloped. We have done other development agreements when someone is working to purchase property.
I'm just curious, but yeah, thank you, Mr. Fitro. I still have another question for you.
Cedar Falls, Iowa. Right now, we have an accepted offer subject to the board voting the approval. Our offer with them is subject to getting the workforce housing tax credits.
Now, that was for Greenbrier. Is that also
That's
for
both.
Castle Hill?
Nope, it's wrapped into one.
Because I didn't see that in
It's wrapped into one.
in their agenda. That's why I ask.
Yep, it's wrapped into one. It's subject for both sites.
So who would be responsible then for the demo of the schools?
We would work through that with the city. We've talked to Noel on agreements or grants possible. There's Brownfield. We just want to see if we can get the application through first.
Okay. I was just curious because this asbestos abatement alone is going to be huge.
We're aware.
Okay.
Yep.
And then on your, the workforce, your community input form is the same for both of them, same verbiage, but I'm just curious on the last paragraph, and it says, also noted there is nothing listed for new construction in the community in a price range of $300,000. So you've got everything sold at Edison School?
I mean, at that time, when we're looking at that, I'd have to look at that. I might have just copied and pasted that, and I can adjust that line. We're not completely sold out, no, we have 7
Well,
listings.
that was my question, because I caught that in both of them, and I know that we still have homes over
Yep,
there.
no, we have 7 listed there.
Okay.
Yep, but that's a very low percentage for
For
City of
30-some
Waterloo.
homes. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, one more question for Noel.
I don't have any more questions.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
On number 16, Noel, I heard the Ridgeway Dental, was this all part of the same lease? I need to know who the owners are of that, so I
BCS properties.
may need to abstain.
I can definitely get those to you. I believe it's Brent Dahlstrom and George Cooley.
Okay. I think I'm all right.
All right, Madam Deputy Clerk.
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs? Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Could someone take ordinance number 1, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to make a motion to receive and file and consider and pass for the first time an ordinance amending Title 8 Public Utilities, Chapter 3 Sewer Regulations, Article A, User Charges and Fees of Section 2, Determination of Rates and Charges.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Council, anyone? Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
I'd
ma'am.
like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion's been made with the second. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion to pass for the second and third times and adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Motion's been made with the second. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Could someone take number 2, please?
Mr. Mayor,
Sir?
I move to receive, file, and consider and pass for the first time an ordinance amending the City of Waterloo Traffic Code by adding subsection 12A Partridge Lane to section 546 yield intersections of 2020 Traffic Code, as follows, that subsection 12A Partridge Lane is hereby added to section 546 yield intersections of 2020 traffic code as follows, 12A Partridge Lane at Dakota Drive.
Second.
That motion has been made with the second. Is there anyone with comments on this particular item or council?
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I just want to thank you for this and thank Mohammed for this. We've been asking for some yield signs in this neighborhood in various places, and this is one of those places. So this is helpful as we continue to expand out in the Audubon Park area.
All right, thank you, sir. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Motion's been made with the second. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Mr.
All
Mayor,
right, you got warmed up a little bit. You're knocking them out now. Let me see, Madam. Yes, sir.
move to receive, file, and consider and pass for the second and third times and adopt said ordinance.
Second.
That motion's been made with the second. Madam Deputy Clerk?
Mr. Bozen?
Yes.
Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
Ms. Creighton Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Childs?
Yes.
Mr. Simon?
Yes.
Ms. Wilder?
Yes.
Mr. Foyce?
Yes.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion's been made with a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Aye.
Thank you.